Hello, thanks for joining me. We're going to adjust the valves on a 2-valve Guzzi engine. This is a 1200 and a Norge, as you can see. Even on the Norge, no bodywork removal is necessary to get this task done. We're just going to put a little tape on the fairing to protect it. And we'll be able to take those top screws out. Alright. So I've got a few tools together. You don't need a whole lot for valve adjustment. A 5mm Allen wrench, a couple of different kinds, we'll see that in a minute. A spark plug wrench, a 3mm to get the cover off of the cover, a torque wrench, a light torque wrench if you've got one, some feeler gauges, and an 11mm wrench, and probably something else I've forgotten. So here we go. Let's take the cover off and get started. So first thing, take the spark plug wire cover off so we can take out the spark plug. Alright, cover out of the way. Wiggle the boot before you get started, make sure it's not stuck, and just wiggle it right off of there. You might want to look inside and see if there are any burn marks or signs of erosion from in there. Unhappy spark plug boots cause a lot of misery. Spark plug, pull that right out. There we go. Not too bad. A little anti-seize on the spark plug is always a good idea. And now we will pull the screws loose. Leave the screws in the cover. You just want to loosen them up here. Just go around and loosen them. Don't worry about getting them all out at the same time. I've got a ball end 5mm and a pair of pliers so that I can reach up in here to the top screws and turn this Allen wrench with the pliers. Out it comes. It's worth mentioning while we're taking the screws out, a couple of things. One is you want to be careful when you're working on your bike that nothing unexpected goes on. So you might want to disconnect the battery if you're doing anything particularly major to your bike. At the very least, know where the key is so that the bike isn't gonna unexpectedly something happen, somebody else is around messing with it. You know what I mean, you just don't want to have anything go wrong. Alright, loosen all these screws up and we're just gonna leave them right where they sit. Are you bored? Yeah, this is the boring part. Alright, it might be stuck. We got all the screws loose. Sometimes they're pretty stuck. Might have to bash it with the heel of your hand or something like that. If you've got a hide mallet, maybe give it a little tap. Make sure these screws are out. If you think it's stuck, check again. Alright, this cover is going to come right off like that. Ta-da! All the screws still in there. There are the valves. We're going to stick the bike in high gear. Look at all that. And we can turn the engine now and see the valves operate. Exhaust, intake. Power, exhaust, intake, compression, power. Okay, you get the picture. So as soon as the intake closes, get a chopstick, something benign. This is good tool right here, wood. Won't hurt anything. Feel the top of the piston is in there. Bump the wheel forward. And as you bump the wheel forward, the stick will go up. Keep wiggling it so it doesn't get stuck. Keeps going up. We're almost to the top. See, most of the stick is out of the hole now. Lost the hole. Here we go. Alright, it's at the top, now it's going back down. I'm going to back up a little bit. It's at the top. You'll get a feel for that. When it's at top dead center, that's where you want to check the valves. So give them a wiggle. They're not too tight. You know, they're not tight. They should, if you're in the wrong place, they won't wiggle. Now we'll check them before we start doing anything. I've got a 6 for my exhaust. It's perfect. That doesn't mean we're not going to mess with it. It just means it's not needing adjustment. A 4, good. Okay, they're right. Now, when I check my valves, this bike is stone cold. It's been sitting here for 2 days. If they're right, let them be. No harm in that. If they're not, make it right, because the bike will thank you. So, 11 millimeters is the nut. Use a good box end wrench. Don't use a cheap wrench on that. Your knuckles will hate you. To change the adjustment, the adjuster screw in the middle is what's affecting it. Loosen the nut. In this case, see, the adjuster didn't even move. I can move the adjuster. Now it's really fast. Let's just check that and see. It's probably ridiculous now. See, so now it's about 10 thousandths on this engine. It would clatter like nobody's business. We don't want that. So let's say we started out at a 10. We'll just tighten it a little bit, tighten the nut. I'm going to switch up on you here. I've got a go, no-go feeler gauge, and I'm going to use the 4 on that. It's in better shape. Okay, I'm still, can push down a little bit, slack as I can be. The 6 is tight. Not quite there yet, am I? All right, I'm just going to wiggle that a little bit and while moving that adjuster. If you want to, you can get in here with a crescent wrench. This is, a lot of people like to do it this way. You can hold that with a crescent wrench. If you have trouble with them turning together, just hold one in one hand, loosen the nut. You can move it a little bit, tighten it back up, and then check it again. Now I'm too tight. And you could fall into this where you might have to do this a few times. And it does take some practice, and you will get the hang of it. You just need to take your time. If it irritates you, go do something else for a while and come back. I'm still a little bit loose right there. Okay. We're going to go with, ooh, yeah, that's good. All right, so it's snug on the 4. Roll the engine around. We need to cycle the engine a few times to make sure everything's in the right place. And we've not got any oil on these surfaces that we're not accounting for. Always just roll the engine and check it again. We're going to go around about 3 or 4 times. 1. Was that 4? Probably. Exhaust, intake, compression. Ooh, right at the top. Okay, we're at the top again. Oh yeah, 4. We're good. So now, same operation on the other side. If you need to adjust it, go ahead. My gauge says, nope, we're not adjusting that one today. How hard was that? Button it back up. It's worth mentioning right here, while we're looking at my torn gasket, that your gasket may be torn when you take this apart. I would suggest having some gaskets on hand, because, you know, that's just sadness. Nobody wants to not be able to ride because of something silly like a gasket. All right, so we're going to just set the cover back on. Hopefully. There we go. I'm going to run the screws down gently. So I don't even want them snug really. I just want them down almost to the bottom, almost to where they touch it. Back off a little bit. And this way, we can make sure the cover is sitting on there like it's supposed to be. No screws are in a bind when you go to start them. So we get all our screws started and run down before we tighten anything. And remember the ones at the top, they're the fun ones. But they'll go right in. So that one's right there. And one to the left. It's a little funny at first, especially if you don't get it. I need the flashlight for that one. There we go. Alright, so now I've got them all down. I'm going to snug them up. I'm just going to turn them until they're finger tight, really. So we've got all the slack out of everything now. Alright, so we don't want to damage the threads in our precious Moto Guzzi cylinder head, do we? So we can use a torque wrench to make sure that we get the valve cover screws even and don't over torque them. This is set to 85 inch-ounces, which isn't much. And we'll go diagonally. Don't go over about 100. If you don't feel like they're tight enough, don't go over 100 inch-ounces. Alright, the top, we're not going to use the torque wrench on the very top because we don't want to scratch the paint. I did that one right. Let's go here first anyway. Alright, so I'm going to tighten that. Feels snug. I'm going to tighten this one when I get the wrench on it. There we go. Snug. See, I was running my mouth and I wasn't paying attention to which screw I'd done down here, so, and that was last. Okay, I did do it right. Yay. Easy enough. Spark plug back in. Tighten it gently. It's not holding the Empire State Building up or anything. Just needs to hold the spark plug. Wire back in this little groove. Cover back on its perch. And we'll just snug those up. Oh, I didn't get that one quite. And we're done. Except for one thing. Remember, we put it in high gear. There we go. So we're neutral. Bike's all buttoned back up. Spark plug wires are attached. Your valves are done. Now go for a ride. Unless you want to do synchronization and TPS reset. But I'm not going to do that today for this video. Thank you, and I hope this is helpful.